further ado, without further ado,
or further, either way. Thanks. Just want to start off by saying a huge thank you to the assistant coaches who have put in, obviously, like most people, tireless. These guys have been incredible. Just their efforts and their families, their wives and families, as far as putting up with us this time of year, has really bared fruit, so to speak. Callie Evans in our football office, who keeps track of us, and then really just the university community. This has been a team effort, whether it's the administration, our supporters, coaching staff, the academic support, our strength coaches, everybody that touches these guys, including the community, has really made a huge impression on these guys and made them want to come here. And that goes all the way to whether it's Dean Howard in the College of Business or to whoever thinks they're the least important person in this operation. Everybody affects whether a guy has a great experience on this campus or not, and that it's been a total team effort. Very excited about this class. Obviously, everybody's excited about the class, but really addressed our two biggest needs coming in this year were offensive line, where we signed 5 guys, and at linebacker where we signed 3. And so those, and then maybe one other guy will end up being a linebacker. We'll figure all that down the road. But the biggest thing that we constantly did, we traveled a lot in a group or maybe a couple people here and there, and every single time we came out of a home visit, everybody's kind of looked at each other and said, wow, that's our guy, that's our kind of guy, that's our kind of family. And we will build this program and continue to keep this thing going on quality people, not only here in our program, but the guys that we'll bring into the program. I can't say enough about these guys just in terms of their character, a ton of leaders, a ton of team captains, a ton of guys that you'd like to date your daughter, and just a lot of guys that we're excited to bring to our program.
with that, if you have a question, please raise your hand. Morgan's on the other side, I'm on this side. We'll hand you the mic, so we'll start with Jordan.
Coach, congratulations. As your first signing day as a coach, can you just describe the emotions of the past 48 hours and what you've been through?
Every signing day is you know, there's always some sort of uncertainty, but I really feel like the way we go about it, we think it's always going to end up how it should, you know, and we try to, we talk about our program, we talk about our players, we talk about our university, we talk about our city, and that's it, you know. If people ask us to compare, you know, this program versus that program, or you know, this graduation rate versus that graduation rate, we'll surely be happy to do that. This statistic versus that statistic, but we try to sell our deal, and we're not going to promise anybody anything, we're not going to guarantee anybody anything, and you usually end up with the right guys.
Then AJ, to your back to the right.
Coach, back here. How would you characterize going through this process as the head guy as opposed to an assistant coach?
A few more phone calls, a few more, just a little bit more involvement in everybody. But again, our assistant coaches worked so hard in this deal and kept up the relationships and the communication during, you know, some moments of uncertainty, and just again cannot say enough about their efforts in this deal. Yeah, I mean, you're aware of a few more things and involved in a few more things, but those guys did the huge, vast majority of the work.
Next to me, Chris Peach.
Coach, could I get you to go down the list and maybe make a little comment about each?
You would do that, Chris, wouldn't you? I would be happy to. Do you want me to go through this list or the big list?
You're
How would you guys like to go?
Whatever I'll indulge you, whatever you'd like to do.
We'll go alphabetical. Devin Allen, just a really dynamic guy. Will help track down USA as well as hopefully Football Town USA sometime. World-class hurdler, especially high hurdler guy. Robert Johnson, very excited about him as well. He came in and had a little celebration this morning from a great program. His coach, a bunch of us have known for a long time. Scooter Molander at Brooklyn Prep is one of the best coaches in Arizona history. And just, again, a great kid from a great family, dynamic, versatile athlete. Kanai Benoit, another Arizona kid, the first 2 guys in alphabetical order. He was just under 8 yards a carry. I think it was like 7.8, 7.9 yards per carry. A guy that we had always kind of kept our eye on throughout this whole recruiting process, and just again, a solid kid, really humble guy, but a competitive, you know, hungry, humble type guy. elusive, not he doesn't have the 100-yard dash time as a couple of these other guys, but was very productive. Elusive tackler, a heavy runner, runs through a lot of arm tackles. Excited about him as well. Doug Brenner, obviously Liz. We'll try to recruit her since she'll play her. Would that be her 7th and 8th sports at the University of Oregon? Obviously from a great program. Ken Potter, a Jesuit. Again, obviously we know his family a little bit more than some of these other ones, but just a solid kid. I mean, just a guy that you'd want to hang out with, and just a great guy. Played tight end, played some defensive line, played a little bit here and there. We anticipate him probably being a center or guard. Very vocal guy. Seems like he could be a charismatic leader type guy at center. So excited about him as well. Excited about everybody else. I won't say that every guy. Darren Carrington, his dad played for predominantly the Chargers for about 8 years in the NFL. So from a pedigree, a very good sister basketball player who's better than him. I was on orders to say. But again, a dynamic guy, very kind of under-recruited and then just hammered here for some reason. But he committed to us last summer after camp, and just again, a guy that his best football is ahead of him. Very young-bodied guy, natural hands, and had a great all-star game, great all-star camp according to all those guys. He was in the Semper Fi game down in LA. But just very excited to see him grow up. He's gonna fill out a lot more. He's a good-looking kid right now, but he's gonna be just get bigger, faster, stronger with Coach Radcliffe. Elijah George, kind of in the mold of a Jake Fisher-esque or a Tyler Johnstone type body type, taller, lean kid, really athletic. Played in an offense at Arborview where he was a double type, double wing tackle, and so we really like his upside, doing a lot of things just because of his athleticism and his ability to run. And he's a physical kid. Dad was a great basketball player, and his best football. Again, this is a guy who's probably 6'5", 255, runs a sub 5 flat 40, so can really roll. Damian Hobbs led his team they lost in the state championship game in Texas, the 5A division, which is some of the best football in the country. Had just under 3,000 yards. It'd be lying if I told you exactly what that was. I think he had 28 or 29 touchdowns this year. Coach McGuire there at Cedar Hill has done an excellent job. Great program in Texas. And he was a guy that was committed somewhere else due to a previous relationship with that coach, and they kind of restarted his recruiting. And he's a guy that we had always kind of been in contact with, and can really throw it, can really run it, and again, a great student, great leader. That was the thing. The biggest thing they really hit on off out of the athletic realm is just how great of a leader this guy was. That kind of they started off. They had a bunch of injuries at Cedar Hill, and he kind of flipped the season and ended up playing the state championship game. Cameron Hunt, great. I mean, just a fantastic offensive lineman. Matt Logan at Corona Centennial, one of the best coaches in California. Tremendous program. A guy that we've had a great relationship for a long time. Very excited for this guy too. He's just a road grader, fast, physical, very polished player. That's still going to get even better and better as he just grows up and grows into his frame. I think they ran for over 4,000 yards as a team last year, had 8,000 yards of total offense, so we're going to watch their film too. But he is just a fantastic kid. His parents are awesome, but just again, a great kid from a great family. Danny Mattingly from Mead up in Spokane, another versatile kind of a big outside backer, tight end, linebacker body type. He's about 6'5", 225-ish maybe right now. He's been playing basketball, and just broken record, a great kid from a great family. This guy's a great student. When we went on our little world tour, it was just amazing how many times, and I'll say it again, we walked out of his house. They have this huge acreage outside of Spokane, and there's snow on the ground. It's about 8 degrees, and we walked out of there trying to not fall on the ice and just looked at each other going, how about this guy? And just off the charts. His dad built the house, literally from like wood on their land. It was like I mean, just incredible people, and very excited for him to be a part of our program. And that leads us into Johnny Munt, who's again the same kind of deal. His family's in the nut business. I learned a ton about the nut business, which is fascinating. I can tell you guys all your walnuts and your almonds. You know it's almonds. It's not almonds. It's almonds. Ventress, did you know that?
I did not.
See? And the import-export business it's fascinating. But this kid, I mean, just again, very versatile body type. He's probably 6'4" and change, 230-ish, and just a stud. I mean, fast, physical, great hands. Very excited about getting him with Oz and the boys, and just really excited to see what he develops into after a couple years with Coach Radcliffe. Jake Pisarcik, you'll recognize that name. His dad was obviously Joe Pisarcik, former NFL quarterback, and from New Jersey, just outside of Philly. Shawnee High School. His coach, Tim Gucci, was a guy that had been involved or come out to our coaches clinic for a couple years, and again, just kind of fell in love with the culture and talked to Jake a little bit about that, and we got involved with him a little bit later. He was a guy that put on a ton of weight and grew a ton from his junior year to his senior year, and his film was fabulous. I mean, early when we watched him, it was kind of one of those deals. He didn't have a lot of offers, and we loved him. We did our normal kind of due diligence, offered him scholarship, and he committed. And then the other Wolves came in and got after him a little bit, but he is a kid that stayed strong through it all, and probably will end up being a guard for us here as we start out. Tarani Prevost, again, just a great kid, tremendous smile, and then can really run and hit the quarterback. Dynamic guy, played DN, outside backer. We see him kind of in the role of Deion Jordan. A guy that is, again, a young-bodied, athletic, dynamic, fast, physical, great tackler, great finisher, caused a lot of forced fumbles, just a lot of havoc, again, from one of the premier high schools in the Houston area. And then collectively, the Robinson twins are both listed at 6'4", and 1 pound difference, so we don't make anybody mad, but one is a little bit taller than the other. Tyree, just a very dynamic kind of athlete. I mean, he could play a ton of places, and we're going to let these guys. Our philosophy in that is if they are a multi-position guy, Tyree's one, Tyrell's one, Juwan Williams we'll get to, but it's kind of let them pick first. And usually what the guys pick or they think is their best idea is what they're going to have the most success at initially, and then if that ends up being something different down the road, then we'll talk about that and make them think it's their idea. But Tyree is a guy that just flourished whatever he did: basketball, receiver, corner, returner, tailback, and again, just a great kid. Smile. Their mom is just light. I mean, just a shining light, and her energy, and just she's always quacking. She's always talking about quacking. So, and she's been talking about that for a long time, so that's good. And then Tyrell is just kind of a little bit bigger version of the same. Second level, maybe third level athlete in terms of from the line of scrimmage. Played basketball, played on offense. They're just two dynamic guys, and we'll figure out and sort it out where they end up playing. Chris Cisse was another kid, kind of a long striding, skinnier guy that has a huge upside. Coach Rad and I had watched some film together a long time ago and watched this guy, and he really liked just his development capability as an athlete. From a very good team as well. Ian McMillan, right? His head coach at American Canyon. Just couldn't talk about how tough this guy was. And a lot of guys that play that position aren't necessarily characterized as tough right off the bat, especially just his basic frame. But did a great job in the return game, playing some corner.